Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Danganronpa. So, theoretically, in this recording, we could be completely done. In practicality, I think the truth is no, we really won't be done. Because there's still 10 dates to go on with Junko. Which, spoiler for the game, we kind of know this isn't actually Junko who we're going on these extra trip ticket dates with. So we might get some interesting story here, but it's not going to be a lot, we know for sure. It still feels very weird that there isn't 10 different locations or even 15 different locations in the game. If you think about the first section where the dining hall is, that's also the place that has the trash room, the bathroom, the like dressing room for the bathhouse, the warehouse, the bathhouse, and the spa. So there's totally plenty of room there for more. They're showing the second floor of the dormitory, but there literally isn't an area mentioned for the second floor of the dormitory. On the first floor of the school, just for comparison, there's the school store, there's 2 classrooms, there's the AV room, there's the front room, there's the nurse's office, there's the gym entrance and the gym. None of that is mentioned except for the school store. The smallest section is the second floor, where you just have the entrances to the workout rooms and the pools and 3 classrooms. Nope, I think it's actually 2 classrooms. There's, I suppose, bathrooms on each one. And it would be kind of ridiculous to go on dates hanging out in bathrooms. But there definitely is a lot more places that you could have picked just to make it more varied. Although I don't know really if that changes anything, because the whole balance of the concept falls apart fairly quickly, because all of it is just kind of extra and kind of dumb, and it's not something I would want to do even if I was just trying to play a standard visual novel game. Dating every single character to get every single ending is not how a Westerner, I think, wants to experience that, particularly if it's going to take a lot of time. Maybe I would be happy with playing a visual novel where I could pick my favorite character that I wanted to get that good ending from, and then it just unlocks most, if not all, of the other possible paths. This is a game that, for people who really don't want to put 200 hours plus into a visual novel, they should just go get the 100% save file, or not play it at all. Like, the only reason I'm doing any of this at this point is because of just an insane obsession around achievements. If there were no achievements here, I would have quit probably 60 hours ago. Well, it feels like it's been 60 hours since we finished the main story. And the main story is not really a visual novel as much. Or if it is, it's a almost completely linear visual novel that tells a very different type of story, where this school mode is straight up just a standard slice of life, basically getting to know you dating visual novel. Anyways, the prompts for Junko in the dining hall are: is it hard being a model? Versus, do you know how to cook? Versus, what should we talk about? Or, let's make lunch and go eat somewhere. Versus, do you have a lot of fans? Versus, is there some kind of trick to makeup? That is, once again, another prompt that seems to be exclusive to Junko, and yet it is an awful response. So we'll never see that dialogue. And then the third option is: when I'm starving, it's burger time, which is only good. Versus, want something to drink. Versus, for breakfast, Japanese style is the best. And yeah, we do have to remember that this is really Mukura Ikusaba pretending to be Junko. This is the right prompt.
For real?
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm totally looking forward to a homemade lunch. I mean, you are gonna make it for me, right? I don't really love or hate anything, so you can just pack whatever you feel like. Oh, but I guess I can help a little bit if you promise to eat what I make. Looks to me like she had a really good time. If anything, it might be... It might have been funny if Junko in particular switched appearances and switched back and forth. Like her freckles disappeared and she had a different outfit. Maybe I can imagine anyway. I can't imagine anyway today could have been more fun than this was. It's been a long time since I felt this relaxed. And that's all thanks to you, Makoto. You're doing pretty good so far. You know, if you think about it, us hanging out alone, just the two of us, it's kind of like a date, huh?
Alright.
Then let's keep that feeling going and go back holding hands. That's fairly bold for Japanese. And see, I just don't know what kind of special underwear unlock we would get from Junko. We see here we have kind of plenty of time. Unless she has a pair of underwear that literally has like Monokuma on it. I don't know. Meanwhile, we do have everything we need to build. Unless we're going to actively look for iron plates. I think we are still just cleaning everywhere. Like, this would be the guy that would need iron plates. And there's 3 more level ups. And then we'll try and rush as far as... The problem with this, more than anything, is that I am going to have to do 2 endings. 2 playthroughs of a class trial, I think, to get to 999, and I may very well do that off screen. So this is the good prompt when I'm starving is burger time.
Seriously?
Yeah, the calorie intake is terrifying, but I can't stop myself. Man, now I really want a hamburger. It actually takes a lot of muscle to be a model. Look at me. I have to keep my body nice and fit, see? Hey, Makoto's all red. What could you possibly be thinking about? I think we both had a pretty good time. She didn't really pose or expose any part of her body as far as we know. But she just told him to look at her. Since we actually know this is Mukura Ikisaba, the ultimate warrior soldier, I wouldn't be surprised if the underwear is just like military camouflaged. Hanging out with you isn't so bad. I thought it would be way more boring. We're gonna have even more fun next time, right? Kidding. Did I see a set the hurdle too high?
Sorry.
Don't worry. I don't have any expectations. Feel free to come say hi again sometime. Okay, you want to head back? Maybe if you get your relationship really, really high with Mukura, then you'll get a slightly different ending in this run. But then there is also that weird possibility that we may get a different ending anyways, because we may very well just not have like we may get a good and a different ending because we've unlocked full relationships with all the characters. Alright, let's just go ahead and skip this. It feels like the New Game Plus also is not really rotating or randomizing the characters as much as you would think it should. Which that would be definitely in line with how the game itself does not really feel like it rotates or randomizes things anywhere as much as it probably should. We'll make thing there. We have 6 cleaning maestros, which seeing a bunch of the characters at level 7 really doesn't help. I kind of would need everything at level 8 and then start using cleaning maestros, and I still would need a whole bunch more cleaning maestros, so we're just not going to get them to that level. We need 10 pi calculators. We need 10 motors. And this very well may just be a day 1. We need 30 binary converters, which we may be short on that. Okay. We need 20 programming codes, which we're short on that too. And we could probably make one of those and be fine. And if we get some iron plates, we can make more cleaning maestros. Okay. So, reference books. Let's look at the big time things. Reference books in the music room. Or, I mean, I guess what this boils down to is we probably need like 4 in the music room. And then like 4 in the library. And then which one is iron plate? The physics lab? 4 in the physics lab. And 3 in the classroom. And hope that works. To get us just all the items we need. Meanwhile, we'll continue to rush through Junko. The slow measured pace of playing a game like this definitely highlights how at the end of a series like this I'm not going to have much new to say or a big overlapping concept to point out. There's been some ideas I've said over the series, and if I say had an editor, I'd probably ask them to edit those good ideas down into a review of 15 minutes or something over the course of the entire run of the game. But for a lot of ways, I'm just kind of over my head playing a visual novel when I wasn't really expecting to play a slice of life visual novel. I keep accidentally playing visual novels this year, and it's frankly just too much and too often and takes too much time. Anyways, the prompts for the school store are I want this awesome armor versus oh, it's some Monokuma merchandise, which that's actually only good. That's good, where Monokuma merchandise usually is awful. Or versus do they have any anime DVDs in stock, which I guess maybe Junko doesn't like anime. I'm sure there's plenty of Japanese people that don't. Then the next group is there's a ton of weapon type stuff here, which that does really seem to apply more to Mukura than Junko. And the only way you would even know that that was the right prompt would be either through randomness or knowing the main story, which you would have had to have seen the main story to unlock this section anyways. So it's not like it's really a mystery to anybody. The other options are that's a pretty cute doll, or let's dig for treasure. And then the third group is let's organize things here a little, which is only a good response, versus I remember those toy vending machines, versus there's all kinds of paintings here. Let's see. So
Seriously?
So in this case, Mukura, pretending to be Junko, can actually put some input into armor and weapons. You're better off without it. Sure, it'll up your defense, but it's gonna kill your maneuverability. I mean, look at it. I don't think it was designed to be worn. Well, I wasn't actually thinking of wearing it. What made you think I was? Really? Well, I mean, I've just seen this kind of things in movies and junk. Like, there's always one guy that gets killed, right? The big, heavy, slow guy. Oh, that must be it. You must just be that kind of guy. You know, the doomed kind. Well, I wasn't gonna wear it, so... Looks to me like she had a really good time. Man, I can't imagine any way today could have been more fun than it was. It's been a long time since I felt this relaxed. It's all thanks to you, Makoto. You're doing pretty good so far. We always seen this prompt, so I could have skipped that quicker. We really don't get a good backstory for Junko or Mukura. And it's kind of a shame. The good news is we've got really just 8 more dates and then we're done. And we want to build every single Monokuma back up just so we get the good ending. I think that's necessary. And it may also lower scores if we don't. There's a ton of weaponry type stuff. Weapons. Is there someone here you want to fight? Are you going to fight Monokuma? ... Well, I guess with things the way they are, I guess it makes sense to have something for self-defense. I think it's good that you're being cautious. Okay, for my defense, I want you. Will you keep me safe? Just kidding, don't worry. I don't actually expect you to do anything. Looks to me like she had a really good time. I was kind of expecting maybe more details there. We'll go ahead and skip that. What I would have probably ambitiously suggested is instead of these date conversations happening, take these 2-sentence conversations and have them in the main story with the group. Have it where Makoto one day decides to search as a group or as some subsection of the 15 students. They all decide to search the dining hall, the school store, the library, and all the other locations. And then there's a whole conversation where somebody says something that seems very irrelevant and pointless, and it really is just high schoolers talking to each other and having idle banter. But in retrospect, it actually does reveal something about each of the characters. We do see a little bit of that, but not really a lot, because when you're doing the whole investigation stuff, if you do talk to a person, it's usually just their account of what happened during the time of the murder. There is no side chit chat. You often don't talk to people at all. You don't talk to people in the hangout sections in a group or any kind of like scripted conversation mode between multiple people. That also introduces a variety, and boy, I've taken a lot of breaks to drink water for this playthrough of this game, and I can't do anything about it. But yeah, since you already have single date events that happen from the main story, having secondary single date events doesn't make sense. Even if they had just gone with the concept of like group dates or double dates, where multiple people were hanging out, that would have worked well too. If there were 2 people you were hanging out with each time and one option gained you favor with one person and didn't gain you as much favor with the other person, that would be an interesting gameplay mechanic. Or if you just hung out with 2 people at the same time and that increased the likability between those 2 people, then you would cut the number of times you would have had to play this game over and over again. I'd have to do some research to figure out when the 1.2 reloaded version of this game came out, but my suspicion is it probably was at least 6 months, if not 2 years or 4 years before Danganronpa 2 came out. And so it was a effort to buy time. That's the only reason it makes any sense that you would have such repetitive content. Anyways, the prompts for the library are they have a ton of how-to books versus maybe I'll check out a photo book versus I wonder if Toko's books are here, or just reading casually isn't enough, is it? Versus reading sure is fun versus should we spend some time studying, or I just want to read comic books, which is only good, versus want to go check out the back room, versus I bet you don't read many novels, huh? Which I don't know why you'd make that assumption on Junko or Mokura. So I just want to read comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's any here. Bummer. Speaking of which, what kinds of comics are you into? For me it's mostly girly romance stuff. Which that would be otome, and translating that and localizing it to girly romance stuff makes fine sense. Or doesn't always mean otome, because otome means novels for young maidens. So it is possible there could be girly romance novels that aren't for young maidens, or like teenage girls, and are more for older females. I know what you're thinking, but that's totally not me, right? But whatever, haha. I think we both had a pretty good time. And see, some of these responses definitely feel like they are just straight up lies to cover up her true identity. Or if it isn't a lie, then that is an interesting character trait for the Ultimate Warrior to be into girly romance.
Hell yeah.
Stuff. I guess she's the Ultimate Soldier, not the Ultimate Warrior. There's a wrestler that was called the Ultimate Warrior. Alright. We still need 30 binary converters. So do we have enough now? Nope, we're still one notebook short. And 20 program codes. And we're still looking for iron plates. Okay. We need just notebooks now. Notebook, notebook, notebook. Everything else, I think probably could get back to just cleaning. Of course we could throw somebody to, like him, to get the notebook anyways. At this rate, it doesn't feel like I'm gonna get everybody up to level 8 on the cleaning. But we might as well keep on moving through that pattern and just see what we can do. I don't believe there's any achievement tied to getting everybody up to level 9 cleaning on top of level 9 searching. Let's see. Just reading casually isn't enough, is it? Is the prompt here?
Are you for real?
Yeah, for real. I hate those guys who just skim through the stuff and act like they totally get it. They just run their mouth off like they're some kind of expert. Do something worthwhile yourself, then we can talk. But you're not like them, are you? I'm glad. Looks to me like she had a really good time.
Alright, so then...
There is, I guess, a thought here that a lot of great media can be established as being great media in a pedantic, silly way if you can imagine it being turned into a porn. In this case, it kind of succeeds on that measure, but it kind of fails on that measure too. Because there's frankly very little even hints of romance between a lot of the characters. You have basically no hints of romance at all between any of the male characters except for maybe Chihiro, and then definitely some hints of romance with Sayaka, but she's killed quickly, and definitely with Kyoko and Aoi. But then Toko, basically none. Sakura, basically none. Celeste, none. And Junko dies too early. So. Like, and I guess if you were gonna make this a male fantasy, you would eliminate all the male characters as competitors, and it would just be 8 girls. And I feel like there probably have been some pornos made that are somewhat like that, but not directly, obviously inspired by Danganronpa. Still looking for iron plates, or we should just have everybody clean now. Yeah, just put everybody on cleaning duty except for this one because it doesn't matter, and then have him search for iron plates. Got 2 more level ups. Let's see. Jump to Junko. Use a trip ticket. Let's move on to the rec room. The prompts for the rec room are don't they have any video games versus is that slot machine versus want to check out the fashion magazines, which once again that sounds like that would be a perfect prompt for the fashion character, but it's the worst prompt. Or you could do let's give darts a shot versus let's play some pool versus want to play Othello. That's probably one of the worst offerings, is when it is literally just 3 different types of games and you're supposed to somehow figure out the personalities of people as far as who would want to play which. And then the third option is maybe there's someone in the locker, which is only a good response, and that seems like a very weird response to be the best response, versus why don't we sit down and just talk versus Hope's Peak really is amazing. So yeah, what about her personality or her appearance tells me darts is the right prompt there? Yeah, sure, I can probably handle that. I got a pretty good eye and I used to practice my knife throwing all the time, so you used to throw knives? Yeah, well, when I ran away from home, I had to learn to defend myself, right? So I just... See, there's this like whole backstory of the Despair sisters being homeless or running away from home, and that just not really lining up completely with the story that had been told to us.
But more important.
Anyway, so you know how to play darts. You're so meek. I never would have imagined. That's your approach on blind dates, I bet. Lure him with that sweet look, then bam, total bad boy. Wait, were you trying to use your secret weapon on me just now? Sorry, looks like you misfired. Too bad. Looks to me like she had a really good time. And see, in a real conversation, you would want to know way more information, and at least the react mode in the main game let you feel like you were asking questions. Man, I can't imagine the way today could have been any more fun. We've already seen that prompt, so we can skip that. But in the main game, the react mode also is seemingly pointless. Like, it at most would have saved you perhaps a few conversations in a second playthrough to just race. But I don't think it is actually selecting a different prompt or doing anything like that. We have 3 days left. As long as we don't get an iron plate, we're kind of stuck with wherever we are. So. Yeah, it does feel like the react mode probably should have been better integrated into the whole game to make more sense. So she's going to be stuck in her inner thoughts, so this would be the last opportunity basically to get any secrets revealed. The affirmation on the first prompt is good, negation is poor. Affirmation on the second prompt is awful, negation on the second prompt is great. What happened? Why Junko gets so quiet all of a sudden? Sigh. Huh? A voice, could it be? Are these Junko's inner thoughts? See, even if in the main game you had realized that Junko actually was a soldier and lying about just being a fashionista, what the hell is happening to me? I knew I wouldn't be able to keep this up. The rest of the thing, none of this is going according to plan. The rest of the surprise could have, how long is this going to keep up? Could have been hidden fairly well, but still. I don't know how, but I'm actually kind of having fun. What am I feeling? It's so strange. It's like deep down in my chest. I'm all noisy. I can't seem to calm down. Why is this happening? Is it because Monokuma's been spending so much time with me? I mean, Makoto's? Why is negation great on the second prompt? I don't think it's because of me, but what other reason could there be? And why did you spend so much time with me anyways? Why not just face the truth? You and I live in completely different worlds, huh? Why'd you get so serious all of a sudden? Huh? I just, you know, feel like being serious sometimes. What's the big deal? Anyway, just hurry up and tell me. Well, I guess it's just I'm an ordinary teenager, you know? Right. Whenever I'm with you, I feel like I don't have to be on. But still, when we talk like that, you don't think I'm annoying, do you? It's all just strange. I don't know what's happening to me. I can't stop thinking about it. ... Junko's acting really strange again. Sigh. Well, whatever. I have fun hanging out with you. That's all that matters for now, right? Looks to me like she had a really good time. So yeah, still not like any big revelations there. And I wouldn't be surprised if there really aren't that many big revelations for the in the second game around Junko and Mukura. Give him some energy. 6, just not enough. It does seem like it totally would have made more sense to have a focus not around cleaning, but a focus on just collecting items to get the level up. Finally did get enough iron plates. We have 4 more dates, which means we will go into the extra time a little bit, but we should still be fine, because I think there is a whole nother backup we need to build. The prompts for the music room are, it's nice and dark and quiet here, versus I want to do some karaoke, versus I'd love to hear Sayaka sing sometime, or you think you'll ever release a CD, which I don't know why you'd ask Junko that, or Mukura, versus this feels good, doesn't it, versus want to try singing together with everyone, or I've always wanted to see some live music, which is only good, versus I'm a big fan of music, versus can You play an instrument. I feel like asking, can you play a instrument, is a decent question to get to know the people, regardless of whether they say yes or no. I don't feel like that should be an awful response, and yet it's labeled as it is. The right answer for this prompt is it's nice and dark and quiet in here.
Yeah.
Totally. You could come in here, find a nice hiding corner to lay down and... Oh, no, I can't. I guess that's just my celebrity personality oozing out. No matter where I go, I stand out. Such a pain. ... Come on, Makoto, that's your cue to jump in. Looks to me like she had a really good time. The one thing you get from hanging out with the fake Junko is, at the very least, the fake Junko does not seem to be as split personality insane as the real mastermind Junko. You don't have her jumping through mental personalities of a baby-ish character, or a teacher character, or a psychopath character. And if it is the real Junko mastermind who's controlling Monokuma in this whole section, then you just have to assume that Monokuma / the real Junko is suffering from enough depression that they've set up this whole backups concept for kind of no reason. Like, there really isn't a good reason why the real Junko would really want a bunch of Monokuma backups. Kind of feels like that was something Monokuma himself would want. Right. So that leaves us with 7. But that's still only half as many as we would need. We'd have to get really, really lucky in the last few days. I just can't imagine that really happening. To the point where we'd have to have, I think, half of the 15 characters accidentally level up twice. You could definitely have a case where Junko or Mukura confesses her guilt at the end of this run, but that'd be about it. Let's see, same prompt, so we'll go ahead and skip all that, and then more stuff to skip. Frankly, for a lot of games like this, where it is just a ton of stuff, a pure skip to the next decision might be very appreciated. Sure, it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense to most players, but for people who had played the game 2 or 3 times already, it probably would work fine. Okay, so we got 9 trip tickets left, and we're gonna be building Warlock Kuma.
Hell yeah.
2 more cleaning maestros. That gets us a little bit closer, but not quite closer. We never really saw if we could have more than 9 of anything, so it would probably be fun to go ahead and see what we can do there. Need 20 microchips. We know we can have double numbers of these items, so there probably isn't any reason why we'd be limited to single digits of consumables. Need 30 of these, which we may be slightly short there. 50 paints. And that means we're gonna have to heavily look for tree branches and watercolor paints. Alright, well. So for this last run, we can't do what we want to do anyways. Okay, so aluminum cans or tree branches. Not sure we really need everything it says we need. We need definitely a lot of that. So let's put like 5 guys there. We can get aluminum cans from the data centers, and I think we can also get aluminum cans from the kitchen, so we probably need to send some people to the kitchen too. And then we are just gonna send everybody somewhere. I don't know if we really need music scores. Let's see if that works for us. And then we've got like 2 more dates, and then I think we're kind of done. Actually, yeah, if we have 2 more dates, I'd leave us at 7. That means we could have done 1 extra character if necessary anyways. And you think it's worth that, I wonder? Let's see. The prompts for the garden are: the grass is so lush and green, versus do you have a favorite flower, versus this flower is kind of creepy, or I'd rather have rabbits than chickens, versus what's that shack thing back there, versus I'd love to just lay down and go to sleep, or look at those chickens, which is only good, versus it's super humid in here, versus want to do some gardening. I feel like I would probably have to get perfect prompts, but there is some characters that would actually work with. But I don't know if I want to even find out if there is a potential second ending or a second way to bring somebody up to the max 10 hearts just to get their underwear a second time. Yeah, bunnies are totally cute, right? There's even one on my hair tie, did you notice? So, yeah, she does have an affinity for bunnies.
Totally.
I even did a magazine spread where I talked about what kind of bunny represents, what kind of bunny presents I'd like to get. And thanks to that, my room's a total disaster zone now. Someone even sent me a rabbit bigger than me.
Come on.
You know, you're kind of cute, wide-eyed, helpless little bunny. You mind if I devour you? I'll pass, thanks. It looks to me like she had a really good time. I really have to wonder if Mukura Ikisaba ever was all into that concept of despair, or if they really were the Despair Sisters, or if that was more just the insanity of the real Junko. Alright, one more date with the fake Junko, and we should be kind of done. We've been all over the place. There's been a good handful of prompts that I would like to see the responses to, but I can't pick them up and see them.
Seriously?
Well, chickens, huh? It's not super normal, but I guess lots of schools have animals and stuff, right?
And
So you want to grab them and eat them? What if we did that? Just started eating them right here. What if that was my special dish? Just kidding, duh. I could never strangle a chicken. Think we had a pretty good time.
yeah.
Well, since some of those were good responses, I shouldn't be actually at the 10 hearts with her yet, but seems like the game is kind of more generous
Now then.
than it seems. Yep. So there is something to just gaining momentum. And I feel like, yeah, I could potentially go back and try and do Sayaka again, but that's just a waste of time. So instead, I'll just try and skip the rest of the game. We still got to get resources to build the Monokuma backups to get the good ending. And then once we have the Monokuma backups, we can just have them clean until the last day. Let's see, Greek statues, how many more can we craft? We still need marble slabs. Books of secret poems. Paint. Tree branches and water paints. Okay. And then Greek statues need marble slabs. Okay. So these are all right. Whereas these are kind of wrong. We don't need that. We don't need that. I don't think we need aluminum cans either, so. Got like 7 people going versus 6, so we'll balance that out. And then we'll rush. Then we'll skip. Still plenty of little speed bumps to get to the next day, where it'd be nice to just be able to press start and skip to the next day and then start right at this screen if there's any prompts, otherwise start at the next screen. Alright. Spirit bomb. Somebody, I guess. We can, I guess, energize somebody too. Can we get up to 10? No, we actually need aluminum cans, so I dropped the ball there. Can we get up to like 50 that we needed here? Not quite. We need aluminum cans, which means any place over here where they're tired needs to come over here, and then any place that was cleaning, I guess we'll bring over there. And this should be enough resources by the end of that to get us where we need to go. We have at this point hit just complete absolute dullness. There's not going to be a single piece of content or text that's new or different until we get to the end. And we'll kind of go slowly through the ending just to see if there's a slight different prompt. But I'm imagining the answer to that is going to be no. We have 9 cheat sheets. And I assume we don't still need aluminum cans. And I think that may be all we need. Yeah, I'm unlikely to get whistles and antiseptic solution and iron plates in big enough numbers to get any more of that. Alright, so let's just double check. We need aluminum cans. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so clean, 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 clean. Aluminum cans versus aluminum cans. So, data center all of these. Put one here. Data center that. Data center that. Data center that. Data center that. And go. That should be about the highest way that you could get aluminum cans. We got 84 in one day. We have only a few more days left. Some of those are going to be holidays. I almost let them get too dirty. And that would have been potentially a problem where they would have potentially had to clean. Probably not, though. There we go. And yeah, there's plenty of resources now to potentially build something else if I really needed to. Let's see. Spirit bombs. Is there something here? Let's see if we can just get this over 10. Yeah, there's no problem over 10. It would be fairly hard to get anything up to 99, though. So I imagine that just isn't doable in a playthrough. Bomb, 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 and bomb. We have 3 days left. And it's all cleaning now for the rest of the days. I suppose there's no reason to do anything else. And I'll give it 2 days, and then I will use all the cleaning maestros because, like, I don't want to accidentally not use 9 cleaning maestros. Not that any of it matters.
Isn't that? See ya.
2 days left. Once again, just clean, clean, clean. Nobody leveled up.
you?
Okay, 1 day left. Might as well use these. This. And then this. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In another gameplay, you could almost certainly get enough cleaning maestros to get up to level 9 with everybody if it was necessary. Cheat sheet wise, there's nothing that can be done. Could easily sandwich a bunch of people if that actually would do anything, but I don't think it does. Would double check to make sure we have everything crafted, and then we'll clean anyways and just see if maybe in those last day things will level up. That seems to be no. So skip this. Then you have the holiday, which this is where you build Usami.
Unbelievable. Yes, indeed.
They give you 200 tokens, which puts me at 200 tokens short.
Of course.
Which I totally wouldn't want to run through
Indeed.
this game one more time to get to 999. That seems like that would really suck. Even trying your very best to just skip everything, it would still be fairly bad. Like, even if you're skipping everything and potentially not even building the Monokuma backups, they may give you 200 Monokuma tokens even in that scenario. That would be a big waste of time. So I'll skip. And then we'll skip. It has been a while since we looked at the good ending because we only watched it that first time that we got it.
Okay then. Sweet.
I guess 50 days, if you weren't counting the weekends, might be close to a semester in school. It really just seems like more of a round number though. 50 days probably isn't it. It's usually six weeks, or schools are broken into something close to that. I don't know how that would break down. Six weeks? Seems wrong. That'd be 36 weeks out of 52 in a year. Anyways, the morning of the 51st day arrived, and Monokuma told us all to be at the gym. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Well now.
As soon as you all should know, today brings into your period of time, I promise, but it sure is a long time, huh? You all got up to this and that and this, that and this. Of course, that's only because you were slacking off instead of focusing on developing decent backups. Ugh, I was ready to die from boredom. That's the worst way to die than reaching out to grab a salmon and then slipping and tumbling over a waterfall. If you're so bored, why didn't you just make your own backups? What? What did you say? What did you just say? Arg, I'm so flipping angry right now. What the hell? We totally made you a backup. You did? You made this? You created it? You assembled it? To put it more succinctly, this was you? This is no Monokuma, it's a stupid pink rabbit. Are you trying to deny my entire existence? I didn't ask you to put your own spin on this. If you're going to criticize us for our creativity, I would suggest you give us more concrete instructions. Yeah, seriously. It's like you handed us a sketchbook and gave us some vague specifications and now you're all mad.
Just give up.
Indeed, if you're going to complain about it, build your own damn backup however you see fit.
What are you gonna do?
I guess I have no choice. Your real school life is going to have to start right now. There are definitely a lot of students there that I wouldn't have thought would have been all on board with the idea of building Usami as a backup, but whatever. Maybe they let Hifumi design the appearance. I didn't want to have to do it, but I guess I'm gonna have to lift the ban. Lift the ban on what? Here, on something that should make you all work a little harder. Looks like the carrot I put in front of you isn't working, so this time I'm gonna put the stick behind you. Are you talking about some kind of punishment? Well, you guys deserve it, don't you? You didn't satisfy my request even a little bit.
Stop fucking around.
You're the one who kept demanding all that silly poop. With all that, we would have been fine.
What the heck?
Yeah, quit trying to blame us for all this. Blah blah blah. All you want, my mind's made up. From this point on, each time you fail a project review, I will select one of you to be the class representative, and that person will be punished. Punished? What does that mean exactly?
In other words,
Well, to put it simply, execution.
what?
Execution? Surprise time! I guess it's time I show you who's boss. What?
Ridiculous.
You can't be serious. You can't kill someone for something like that. What's the big deal? I just moved the schedule up a little bit. That's all. The schedule? What are you talking about? Phew, that's part still secret. So, for now, let me just announce who will be punished this time. What? You're lying, right? You can't be You're seriously gonna punish us?
Of course.
Didn't you hear me the first time? What, you got cotton in your ears?
Well, now.
Okay then, who should I pick? Just kidding, I already know. Today's punishment goes to Makoto. You're up, big boy. It's always Makoto. What? Hold on a second, you're gonna punish me? How come? Well, see, an average useless kid like you either dies first or turns out to be the main character. So this time, let's make you the one that dies first. You can't be serious.
Now then.
Okay, let's get this show on the road. Wait, this isn't... Why are we... Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment for the ultimate lucky student. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment to... Hold on. This is all the same dialogue, huh?
I won't forgive you.
I want this tyranny to go on any longer. What the hell? What's going on now?
No
The
fucking
robot
way.
we made, did it just... It moved and talked.
What?
What is this?
Everyone.
It's a miracle is what it is. A miracle everyone hoped and wished for. Huh? You heard of our wishes? Then you're alive? What are you?
That's right.
I am Usami, specifically the amazing messenger from the future, magical miracle girl Usami. Now listen here, Monokuma, it's time to give it up. But you're not supposed to show up yet. If you make an entrance now, the timeline's gonna get all... No questions allowed. Then we see them fight. Tia Haya. Hey, knock it off. Are you seriously gonna try and finish me right here?
Forgive you.
Absolutely, yeah. Hoo-ah. Now for the coup de grace, the Usami final splash spark. Okay. See, you'd think this would be the end of the good ending. Justice always prevails, but there's like 20 more lines of dialogue after this. This wasn't supposed to happen till the sequel.
Forgive you.
I hope you learned your lesson, mister. Stop all this nonsense and let them go. Okay. Here, take it. Do whatever you want. Monokuma handed something to Usami, then left his on wobbly legs.
Huh?
What the hell?
What?
What do we create, man? Is it gonna go out and destroy the entire human race?
You.
It's a good question. What are you? Let's see.
That's right.
I represent the bond you all created here, and that bond itself represents a fragment of hope. The light from each one of you has overlapped, creating me, a road sign leading from your future. You from the future.
Everyone.
You did great, everyone. From the future.
What are you thinking?
What do you mean by that?
Got it?
That's not important, and since it's not important, I don't need to tell you. Now, put out your collective hand out. I have something for you. And what she gave us was the same thing Monokuma had just given her. This is
Oh,
some kind of device.
Perhaps.
If I had to guess, I would say it's...
that's right.
That's right. Press the button and the door in the main hall opens wide. Then
I see.
we can leave.
Let's do it.
Yeah, boy.
That's good.
I'm so happy.
Well.
It was a long, hard road, but finally, I'm glad that we all made it here together. Yay, that's awesome. Super awesome. Usami watched us celebrating, smiling on her face. I had no idea what Usami really was, But one thing I did know is that she saved us, which is why I wanted to make a point to thank her. Usami, thanks for saving us. We all our eyes. Oh, you don't need to thank me. You're the ones who brought me here. And now from this point on, huh? Actually, never mind.
Everyone.
Listen, everyone. All the time you spent here together. All the time you spent building up your hope, your bonds, no matter what. Don't lose that. Don't give in to despair. Please, just do your best. ... Usami? Hey, she just stopped. Did she run out of batteries? They can't be. We never installed any kind of power supply. Then how did she move around in the first place? Stop talking. This is totally all occult. Maybe he's right. But no matter what Usami was, she stood up to Monokuma and saved us all. It's not always true, however, that your enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Hey, listen.
Ugh. Why you gotta ruin things every freaking time? Can you not just say nothing and let us enjoy this? Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. Good idea. Monokuma might change his mind and come back. Then we're all in trouble.
Okay.
Alright, let's get ready to split. Girl, I was just about to split that. Everyone started getting ready to leave. Meanwhile, I turned back to Usami one more time. Usami. But there was no reaction. It was like everything she'd done was just before was a hallucination. Makoto. Huh? What is it, Kyoko? What Usami told us, the bond that we created here, that bond is a fragment of hope. What do you think she meant by that? I can't be sure, but I think she meant the connections we form between each other. That's where hope is born. Our connections are hope. To share a connection with another, that creates a light that can dispel any darkness.
I see.
And that light illuminates the road in the future. Is that what you're saying? Into the future.
Okay.
The connection between a few people might just be a little fragment, but the more people you bring together, the brighter the fragment can shine. In a funny way, what was the name of that game that came out much later than this by the Metal Gear Solid creator? Death Stranding? Yeah. The concept of Death Stranding is basically that same idea too, is that everybody has to work together to reconnect the United States once an apocalypse has happened, and create roadways and connections from city to city, and create connections between people to bring back hope to the world. I'm sure this is a concept that is not super crazy. It's probably something that gets said a lot and was first said a long time ago, and we're just seeing different games do different kinds of implementation around it. Yeah, I think you're right. Over the last few weeks, we've all gotten something from each other. I know that much for sure. Before we arrived, each of us was a tiny little fragment scattered throughout the world. We each had something we were trying to carry within us alone. We had no idea of the consequences of that kind of thing led to despair every single time. But that's what we learned while we were here, while we were working together, hand in hand. There is a slight problem with the characters, if we can take a moment here. Like, we don't get any of Makoto's backstory, so if he was supposed to have a dark, despair-laden history, we have no idea what that is. Kiyotaka, we don't really get too much of his backstory, but I could see how his grandfather, being the disgraced politician, would be somewhat despair-ridden. Byakuya being forced to fight amongst his siblings could be despair-ridden. Mondo and his brother is despair-ridden. Leon, I mean, his big despair is that he got bored with baseball and left his friends on the baseball team. That's not much. Hifumi, I feel like there's not really a backstory that works with Hifumi. Yashihiro is kind of just greedy and just needs more money. So there is some despair in here. Sayaka hinted at a dark backstory, but we never really got it. Kyoko doesn't know her backstory, but we kind of know it is despair in. Aoi, though, we don't get any of her backstory. It seems to all be upbeat, really. Toko, yes. Sakura, yes. Celeste, no, we didn't really get any backstory around that either. Chihiro's story, yes. So they almost have all 15 characters or 16 characters having a despair-ridden history before they arrived. But they did not flesh it out quite well enough for every character. All it takes is holding someone's hand in yours and that despair starts to fade. And if it doesn't go away with 2 people, then 3. If that's not enough, just keep adding more. And now we're all going to leave here together just like that. That would be an interesting idea if this was a game where you had to continuously add chess pieces to the board. And so the first time you played it, it was just Makoto alone having to try to survive in Hope's Peak, and he fails miserably. And so he shouts out with his dying breath to call for help, and then the game starts over, and then you have like 3 people trying to survive in Hope's Peak on the second run, and then 5 people in the next run, or 6 people, and you keep adding until you have 15 whole people that need to be in Hope's Peak at the same time and alive at the end of the game to get the good ending. That would be much more mechanical of a game, much more of a puzzle. And see, Mukuro Ikisaba / Junko is just silent still. Junko, is something wrong? No, I'm fine.
Could it be?
Oh, you're probably thinking the same thing that I am, huh?
So,
Once we got out of here, is everyone gonna go their separate ways, or are we gonna stay in touch? I mean, we're all friends now, right? So, this is not a final farewell. The time we spent here together, those memories we created will always be real. So Sakura's right. If it's too sad for us to part ways, let's not part ways. Yeah, we should meet up every once in a while and talk about the good old days.
yay!
Ah, that sounds like fun.
I see.
Yes, what a splendid idea. Renewing old friendships is an excellent way to enrich your life.
You know what I mean.
But I really don't remember anything about this place.
Yo.
Well, it's not like we gotta sit around and remembering stuff, right? Anyway, it's still far too early to be playing that kind of thing. Haha, that's true. First we gotta get out of here. And we can each go back to wherever we came from. That's right, back. Back to those boring, peaceful, incredibly important days. Together with everyone else. That fragment of hope each of us had buried within our hearts. The future born from that hope might have moments of despair, but even so, everything has to begin from there. So yeah, there's no difference here. So we've got Yashihiro, and then Junko, and then Chihiro and Celeste. So let's start with Celeste and then go with Chihiro, and then go with Yashihiro, and then stop with Mukuro Ikisaba / Junko. I imagine she's gonna have just black gothic Lolita fashion style panties. Otherwise, the only other gag you could do is that she has just kind of standard or even like torn poor people's underwear to reveal that she actually was poorer than she made out. I don't think that really is the case there. I don't know if a Japanese person would wear torn underwear ever. That seems probably unlikely. The fact that most of them are wearing skirts or dresses probably reminds anyone to wear clean and good quality underwear at all times, because you just never know when you might accidentally flash it. I decided to talk to Celeste one more time before we all left. I wonder if this was the last time we'll see this place. The time we spent here didn't make much sense, but looking back, I can't say I didn't have fun. There's still some mysteries left. What was Monokuma really? Why'd we end up here? I still don't have the answers, but I'll have time to figure that out once we escape.
Are you okay with this?
So those are the same prompts as before. Makoto, do you remember my dream? To realize that dream? I'll allow you to give me all of yourself. At least things are ready to begin. Sorry, but what are you talking about? You do not have to play dumb. You do not have to pretend to be shy anymore. From now on, you may serve me as my knight. I am granting you the opportunity to obtain true peace of mind. Go ahead, you may rejoice. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. How very modest of you. Well, that is fine. By the way, you obviously know the next destination after we leave this place. Destination? ... A nice hot spring, nice quiet hot spring hotel. A round trip in a luxury yacht, European castle. We know it's European castle, but I feel like this would probably give you an interesting response, because it's a bit of a proposition. I want to see this, but I don't want to waste a lot of time. Do you want to go on a nice refreshing trip to a hot spring hotel? Now is no time for such forgetfulness, Makoto.
Okay with this?
I'll ask you one more time. What is our next destination? Alright, so you don't even get a real response to that. You wanted to buy a European castle, right? I knew you'd remember. You truly are worthy of serving as my knight. Perhaps it's time to consider promoting you to B rank. What? Perhaps it's time to consider promoting you to B rank. How? Perhaps it's time to consider promoting you to B rank. She said it 3 times. Thank you? Naturally. However, you should not thank me just yet. Bear in mind that your promotion depends on the work you put in from this point forward. Got it.
As for me,
My dream. To live in a European castle and collect beautiful butlers/bodyguards from around the world and dress them like vampires. Then I will spend the rest of my life worshipping such beauty in my world of decadence.
this is fine.
Now then, Makoto, please begin making our preparations immediately. Huh? I have to do it?
Let's see.
Graduating from Hope's Peak was to guarantee me a lifetime of success. That was how I intended to raise the funds I would need. But unfortunately, that no longer appears to be an option. Oh, but doing what you ask isn't as easy as you make it sound, you know?
Indeed.
Perhaps, but it's not impossible. With you standing next to me, I'm certain. Celeste has a solid grasp on her hope for the future. What's in that dream is all over the place, but she's shining so bright, I thought I might go blind. Remember this, your master's dream. As such, you should consider it your dream as well. Now, let us depart, onward toward the day we stand atop our castle together. Celeste held her hand out to me. Oops, I double pressed a button. That seems to be something that happens on rare occasions in almost every visual novel. This is another ending where theoretically Makoto would just go off and work as a servant of Celeste, and there'd be no way for him to hang out with any of the other people or be the servants for those other people. Trying my best to assume the role of a knight, I took it with as much respect as possible. I don't know what the future holds, but I know what to expect when it comes to the people here. Celeste has high expectations, so I have to think hard about what I can do to live up to them. For the first time since coming to the school, a vivid image of the future filled my heart. So, yep, we've got some kind of frilly, fairly small thong underwear from Celeste. Yes. Now it'll be interesting to see the shape of Chihiro's underwear, considering how Chihiro is a guy. But if you're cross-dressing fully, I assume it's just going to be somewhat standard girl underwear. Decided to talk to Chihiro one more time before we all left. I wonder if this was the last time we'll say this. We'll go ahead and skip all of that. Blue text. Will that device really let us escape? I'm sure of it. We just have to believe in Isami. You seem really excited, Makoto. What, is it that obvious? Yeah. I've never seen you with such a wonderful smile. I bet you have all kinds of stuff you want to do once you get out of here. I can feel that desire overflowing from you. Well, I'm sure you feel the same way, right? Chihiro?
You know?
I don't know. I don't know what I should do once we get out of here. I have a goal. I know what I want to become, but
What should I do?
how to reach that goal, I have no idea. Makoto, what should I do? ... Just do your best. Just let yourself get immersed into it. I have faith in you, Chihiro. Just go with that one. I don't know which one would be the right prompt.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just don't have that kind of strength. I'm just a coward hiding in my own little world.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the one who you seem to think I am, Chihiro. Damn, I was trying to encourage her, but I just made her feel even worse. How can I connect with her? Just do your best? That's a pretty Japanese phrase, do your best. Just do your best and I'll be right there cheering for you. If you know what you want to become, I'm sure you'll get there, even if you take a few detours.
Yeah.
... Well, I appreciate you for cheering. You'll be cheering for me, but right now my fear is stronger than any of that. Time kind of stopped while we were in here, you know. But once we got back into the outside world, when I think about it, I just get so afraid. It makes me ashamed of myself. ... Damn, I was trying to encourage her. He's still saying her, even at this point. See, I don't know why that's the right prompt at all, but whatever. Just let yourself get immersed in it.
That's right.
Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? I do feel like I'm starting to understand, but still. Listen, Chihiro, you don't need to rush things. We may very well have talked about that, but it may have been so long ago I don't remember. Or it may have been the last episode and I don't remember. Frankly, this game's gone on for way too long. You don't need to rush things. Just keep your goal in front of you and move toward it at your own pace. Changing your outlook is good, but it's not as simple as just rushing headlong towards something. It's okay for you to figure it out at the right speed to move at.
Huh?
Makoto. Even if it means taking things slow, as long as you don't give up, you'll always be making progress. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I feel like maybe I'm not afraid anymore. That's good. I'm glad I could help. Then do you mind if I take my first step right here? If you don't do it now, I feel like once I get outside I won't be able to do it. Of course I don't mind, but is there really something you can do right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chihiro closed her eyes, took a deep breath and let it out slowly. And then...
You know?
I want to tell you something, Makoto. If you can, please don't be too surprised. ... I'm a boy. Huh? What do you mean?
You know?
Well, I'm actually a guy. ... Makoto? What? Sorry I scared you, didn't I? But I mean, I didn't mishear you right. You actually said you're actually a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to be more like you. Does it not suit me? It's not even about it suiting you. I mean, since you're a girl...
No.
No, I mean it. I'm a guy. Listen, I don't know why now all the times you're trying, of all times you're trying to be funny. This is kind of sad because Makoto is just rejecting her. ... You're right. It does seem like a joke, doesn't it? But it's the truth. Tears stood in his eyes. Well, they immediately started going to his, at least. But his face was determined and unwavering. Chihiro wasn't joking. That much was clear. But at the same time, if you really want proof, you can go ahead and check. Check. I mean, obviously, you can't tell just by looking at you. Are you saying I should touch? I can't do that.
What should I do?
Then, hold on, Chihiro. Without warning, he grabbed my arm and I yelled out as he ignored me and, ooh-ah, pushed my hand against his chest. Huh? But the form I'd expected to feel wasn't there. Now, do you believe me? Yeah. I was still confused, so confused, but I nodded. Chihiro, he was a man, no different from me.
I'm sorry.
I did surprise you, didn't I? Well, I'm surprised you're a boy, yeah, but I'm more surprised how bold you are. Well, it's just 'cause I had to be. To become who I really am, I have to have the strength to tell the world who I am, to reach my goal.
You know?
So, can I tell you my story? From there, Chihiro explained, and they're just going to skip over this, how he had taken on the identity of a girl, This is kind of weird because a lot of these other conversations seem to magically include the dialogue you would have gotten in the main dating mechanic, but for Chihiro, they're not including those revelations, which so that they can just like reveal it again, which really highlights how Chihiro is kind of a token cross-dresser character. That's all his character is about, really. Sure, they tagged on that he was the ultimate programmer so they can make alter ego, but we don't really have any personality that coincides with that. He is a very one-note character. He told me how he'd been teased for being so frail as a child and how that had affected him. He told me how he had retreated into a feminine identity, embraced the assumed weakness of it. But being here with everyone, talking to you so much, I decided that I wanted it to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. I don't want to lie to anyone. There is definitely an argument for sexism here too, to just assume that females are the weaker sex, and that, but I guess that's a hang up that they are giving Chihiro himself. They didn't want to lie to anyone. I wanted to become my true self so that we could all become true friends. If this was a more modern game, Chihiro definitely would straight up say she's transgender, at least in the English Western localized version of it. Chihiro.
You know?
So Makoto, after hearing all that, it might cause you to even more trouble, but even though I pretended to be a girl, even though I've been lying to you this whole time, you'll still be my friend? Yes, of course.
Huh?
You mean it? I respect your strength and the courage so much.
What should I do?
Respect. Again, Chihiro's blushing. I don't know if Makoto really wants her to be blushing, or him to be blushing. No, I'm not that strong. I don't think I could tell anyone else but you. Don't say that, huh? You're stronger than anyone I know. It's hard for anyone to acknowledge their own weakness. I suppose it is nice, though, that at the very least, Makoto doesn't react the same way Mondo did and like immediately murder her. It's hard for anyone to acknowledge their own weaknesses, you know, but you faced your weakness and took steps to overcome it. So don't say you're not strong, because you are. Makoto.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're always there to encourage me like this. Whenever I get scared and want to stop, you're right there behind me, pushing me forward.
You know?
So, until I'm strong enough to be my true self in front of everyone, I hope you'll be there to support me. Maybe I'm just being naive, but can we spend time together like this, just talking about whatever comes to mind? Absolutely. We're friends, right? You can talk to me about anything whenever you want. I feel like I can talk to you about anything, so there's no reason we can't stay close. I'll be counting on you too, okay? Okay. We may not always be there for each other individually, but we still have to all work together. We know we're not alone, which helps us work harder even when we are alone. And embracing that hope, we take steps after step into the future. So Chihiro's underwear is big, puffy, like, I think you'd call those bloomers. That might not be the right term. Big puffy underwear of sorts, which I guess that makes sense. And there's some kind of yellow pineapple pattern on them from the looks of it. Let's go ahead and talk to now Yashihiro, who hopefully isn't too annoying, and then Junko will probably be the biggest revelation of characters to last talk to. Were these always metal like this? I guess they probably were. I don't remember. Alright, so skip the blue text. We can finally get out of here. Pretty awesome, huh, Makoto? Yeah.
You know?
But we're still pretty busy once we're out. Remember what you gotta do, huh? What do I have to do? Track down the OO parts. Attend that seminar. Let's go with track down the OO parts. Track down those OO parts.
What?
Did you make a promise like that? I don't remember. Besides, you can get that stuff online. No tracking down necessary. But I mean, that's gotta be a scam, right? Attend the seminar.
Yo.
Bingo, you remembered. Not that I wanted to, but you gotta attend that one little seminar. Oh, then we gotta find our collective babies' mamas and raise all our kids together. I seriously don't want to be involved in that. So he's still sticking to that prediction.
You know?
Doesn't matter. The vision came to me, so there's nothing we can do about that. It'd be kind of funny if that actually eventually does occur in the Danganronpa series. Once you and me are blood brothers, then I can show you my OO parts collection. If they haven't already been stolen anyway. I'm sure they'll be fine. I don't think anyone would want that stuff. But why do we need to raise our kids together? Why? For the sake of their mother. Okay, since I won't give you my organs or my identity, you don't care about me? Well,
How about that?
just keep taking care of yourself. Stay with me and then... ... What? Shoot, did I say that out loud?
Hey, come on.
Joking. Just my little joke. Haha. You can't just laugh that off.
Please.
Sorry. I guess I'm just too honest. Seriously though. I'd like you to stick around. Huh?
You know?
You've shown me that even when you hear my true feelings, you don't abandon me. You just, take me how I am.
Well,
Having you around is a way for me to reaffirm my existence. That's how much you mean to me. I see. Hiro kinda lives in his own pace, so it's probably hard for him to open up to other people. I wonder if he even realizes himself what he's looking for.
you're serious.
Plus, if I need you to sacrifice yourself in order to secure my future. I said no. Jeez, Mikolo. After all we've been through, you're still so stubborn. Was everything he said just a lie to get me to do what he wants? I can't trust a word he says, but even so, that's still the true hero. I don't know what the future holds, but I know what to expect when it comes to the people here. Hiro does have hope of his own, and I have to think about what I can do to help him reach it. For the first time since coming to school, a vivid image of the future filled my heart. So, fairly wild purple thong underwear from Yashihiro. And then it would really have sucked if I accidentally hit no at that point. And see, the only other thing I could think is after we talked to Junko, if it popped up something where we talked to Monokuma, since we've talked to everybody else and collected everybody else's underwear, that would be a nice little reward, but it's not going to be much of a reward, frankly. It's for the amount of time we committed to do this extra game content, it was a mess. Decided to talk to Junko one more time before I left. The blue prompts here seem to be the exact same stuff. ... Junko, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Why? You're the one who decided to come and talk to me, right? Oh well, I just thought you seemed a little different than normal. She still has a freckle. It's still Mukuro Ikisaba. ... If there's something bothering you, you can tell me. I might not be much, but I'd be happy to listen. ... Makoto, if I said that we should stay here together, what would you do? What? Why would you say that? Don't worry about it, just tell me. What would you do? Would you stay here with me? Hold on. Why would you want to stay here? I mean... You promised to set me up on a date. That was true. Don't you want to go back to modeling? Didn't you want to search for a new dream? I think that's the right one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that, of course. Once we get out of here, I'll find you a nice girl. Which, that seems weird. ... I think must be something else bothering her. Um, let's do this one. I don't know if that's right. Didn't you want to search for a new dream after we get out of here? You're right. But when I think about it, the idea of chasing a dream is just too vague. There's no substance to it, no clue what it even means. You'll just end up desperate and lost, and then everything you've done is a waste. Besides, before I ever find what I'm looking for, the world might come to an end or something. The world might... What do you mean? Oh, relax, it's just a silly metaphor. But still, it's not like you to get so scared imagining stuff like that. Geez, I wonder if this scenario actually takes place before the tragedy happens. That doesn't really make a lot of sense because it would almost imply that they had their memories erased twice. Once when Monokuma was gonna first start his killing game, but instead decided to do this, and then in the first main story, he then started erasing their memories and just did the killing game directly. And that doesn't make any sense, really. Yeah, I'm trying to roll around in my head, and it doesn't... Like, both scenarios could not possibly have happened in any timeline. There has to be a scenario where Monokuma just straight up decides to do this new game, Monokuma backup mechanic, and then there was another scenario where he already had enough backups and he just started the killing game. And it seems like this new game skull mode content is the canon second alternate universe version. Anyways, continuing. Scared me? That's how it seems to me. It's okay to get lost. It's okay to keep searching. That by itself is better than not even trying. You said that, remember? So why are you so scared now? Stop talking, Makoto. I'm not scared. And of course I remember. I said it, didn't I? I mean, sure. I do want to believe that there's something better waiting for me out there. Which is why?
So then.
Anyway, I have one more question. From this point on, no matter what happens, even if I don't seem like myself, will you stay by my side? So Muka Ikasaba is gonna try and be her true self. I can feel her eyes boring into me. Someone they feel different from the Junko I'm used to talking to. I think that should have been somehow. But seeing her standing in front of me, there's no doubt she's the same friend I've come to know. What are you talking about? You've never been anyone but yourself. You're the same girl I've known all along. Who else could you be? ...
And...
Hey, Makoto. I don't understand a word you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
But it's okay. I think I get what you mean. But are you sure about all this? I've always been a disappointment, at least according to her. But now I'm all alone. I just don't know what to do from here on out. Wow, that almost feels like this school mode timeline occurs almost directly because the real Junko was punished herself and killed herself at the end of the main game. And then that would mean she wasn't actually controlling Monokuma in the school mode. Which I guess that might make sense. I don't know how that happens though. You're not alone, Junko. I'll always be by your side. We can walk together, searching for that dream. And if we get lost, if we run into trouble, we can do that together, too. I'd like that. Thank you, Makoto. But she still looks troubled somehow. All I wanted to make her feel better, so without thinking, I took her hand. Huh? She looked surprised, but then she gripped my hand in response, so tight it hurt. When you look at me, when I feel your hand in mine, I know that I'm real, Junko. The Junko I'd seen before, the Junko I was seeing now. It was almost like there were two of her. I feel like she must have a secret, one she can't tell me just yet. It would be funny if there actually were never two Junkos, and there was never really a Mukura Ikisaba. It was just a split personality of Junkos. But I really don't get the indication that that could have been the case. But no matter what it is, no matter what happens, I'll never let go of her hand. On my own soul, I promise. So I just got an achievement for getting all the presents, which is labeled as seriously you shouldn't have. Which even the game is telling me this was kind of a waste of time. And the game crashed. Okay. Well, what to do about that? Well, the game wouldn't have saved at all. We can look at the trailer here, I suppose. Which that puts us in a very weird position, because if there was any other achievements around that, I would have to rush through the hour and 41 minutes of content. Yeah, we'll just hit the start button and skip that. There's no reason to watch all of that. See, so like day 32 was the last, which also means I'm at 600 tokens. And I can't really bring up the achievements. So yeah, we can't look at the underwear, as it were. But there's one thing I want to do. Is if we can go to chapter 2 and if we go to Japanese, could we do this? Let's see, best results. Japanese, start at the class trial, difficulty gentle, action difficulty gentle. Aw, man. That really does highlight that we could have done something really great there. We have 48 skill points, which I believe is the maximum. So we'll have to go through each of these items and see which ones are useful. Increase the influence gauge recovery when right answers are chosen. Effective during class trial, costs 5 SP. Let's start by this one actually is 4, so you can't have both enabled anyways. So some of these abilities are probably straight up just better versions of things. Okay, so attentive influence versus envious influence. Let's see, this one costs 4, whereas this one increases your focus gauge. Which focus gauge versus influence gauge by 2, where this one would do 4. I don't think either one of those is really necessary. Increasing the time limit is useful. Charisma recovery with right answers costs 5 SP. But charisma doesn't seem to probably be that necessary. Completely stays your aim, which I suppose means you get rid of cool and composed instead. Effective during non-stop battles. Reduce your aim speed, effective during this, or increases your aim speed. So would you want to downshift or upshift? You have to kind of pick. Truth bullet rate of fire going up. Reduce the delay between firing truth bullets. Decreases an argument to 3 statements or less, effective during non-stop battles or bullet times. So crystal prediction seems to make the game very easy. A time limit doesn't, cheat code time limit doesn't ever decrease, so do you ever need to modify the time limit at that point? Increase speed of memorizing a statement. Automatically target weak spots during conversations. Let's see. Focus gauge decreases more slowly in concentration. Let's see. I don't know if you want the focus gauge to decrease more slowly or the influence gauge to recover. Or increase bullet capacity, which is effective during bullet time. I don't know if that really helps anything. Lock 2 statements at once. That's pointless too, but I guess that kind of helps. Let's see. Okay. And see, if you have only one thing to unlock, I think everything almost costs 1. Or nearly everything costs 2 instead of 1. Okay. I guess if we were to look at the presents. Yep, we did not get to keep that underwear. Yeah, that really sucks to have the whole game just crash like that. Right. So I guess we can hear. We can hear what the Japanese sounds like. That is a very different sounding voice for Monokuma. I would not have expected it to be nasally like that. That sounds very similar to what I would guess. That seems reasonable for Taka. Mondo sounds a little weird, but not crazy weird. Kyoko may be a little too sweet for her appearance. Sayaka and Junko are not even in picture, so we won't be able to hear them. Hifumi sounds better. Celeste sounds fine. It's very suspicious that there'd be 16 seats when everything else seems to be completely custom built to order. It's still English subtitles, so you totally could play this in Japanese. Alright. Evidence of a struggle. And we'll just want to see how slow this moves. And you have kind of plenty of time, but it's still a decent amount of um,
と前園さんは
loss of time.
シャワールームにいるところをいきなり襲われて抵抗する間もなく殺された。
それは違う。
You can see there was only one prompt there.
ちょっと待って藤崎さん。僕の部屋の状況を思い出してみてよ。
So do we really want to stick with all of this? No, we'll skip through everything. Kitchen knife set.
前園さやかを殺した凶器とは何だったのだ。
前園君の腹部に刺さっていた刃物。
I don't know how many skills are actually helping here, but I can see there's no drift. That there is no random drift like there was previously. We're not getting any like of the pink noise sentences yet. See, the reason I'm playing this first chapter, class trials, because I want to do one without taking any damage, which I think we can pull off with all the cheats fairly easily playing on gentle. We kind of don't know what Aoi's account is. Let's see. I think that was right. So yeah, there's not even like a prompt here. Like there's no way to get it wrong, and you don't lose hearts. You never lost hearts when you let it go in circles. In fact, the whole game was designed around the idea of circles. I still don't feel like you're gonna get an S rank in this game, so A is probably your best bet. And even on normal mode, I did manage to get A ranks on most of the trials, so that there isn't a good motivating factor to make you want to go back and play this game multiple times or play the class trials multiple times, other than just getting Monokuma tokens. Let's see. Sayaka. Gotta make sure we get that right. This once again just shows how much dialogue and conversation. And this is like the only time you do have group conversation. So, Hangman's Gambit. Let's see, what were we spelling this time? I think it's lock. Let's see, hair. I guess is what we're spelling. I don't even remember what hair would have had to do with anything. Ah, there wasn't a single hair on the floor. Leon's hair is red. Actually, compared to the English voice actors, I'd say the Japanese voice actors are way more on character and on the mark. This was a poor translation, in my opinion. Let's see. Toolkit. Doorknob. Let's see, I may still not be moving fast enough to get the highest scores. Let's see, at this point, this is where it's going to get to the rhythm debate, and Like, there's going to be at least one of those, and so there is still a possibility of taking damage in that, and I, at that point, wouldn't be able to get all the achievements, and then,
その後シャワールームに逃げ込んだけど
犯人はその後を追ってシャワールームに入ったのかな。その時犯人がドアノブを壊したんだろう。
bust down the door.
鍵がかかってたからな。
Let's see.
そこで前園さんは犯人に追い詰められて
しまいにゃ。
Yeah, it's not actually locked because the boys' dorms rooms wouldn't lock. Even Toko sounds better. But it does even then feel like there was a different team in charge of voice acting as versus the animator and the writer.
その時犯人がドアノブを壊したんだろう。シャワールームには鍵がかかってたから。それは違う。
Yeah, there's just absolutely no entertainment in playing these sections again.
シャワールームのドアが開かないでもですが
Like you can rush through it to get Monokuma tokens. But
そのせ最初犯人は
yeah, I really don't see a reason why you'd want to play the whole story a second time. It's not like even knowing who the mastermind is changes any of the chapters at all.
犯人は
すまんが拙者は
このまま
よし。とりあえず助け。とりあえずでいいんだ。
I would say that Chihiro's voice is
この状況
more female than
リアルな話。
and kind of sweet and weak
どんな些細なことでも構い
in
ませんが
Japanese too, which that totally makes sense and that's the right way to go.
疑問ならあるよ
Hmm.
なんで残念そうなの
I am very much a fan of
いいから話し
subtitled anime anyways, so I do like to hear the original voice actors.
そもそも
There definitely have been a few good Western dubs where they've put a lot of effort into it and gotten good voice actors to
現場に
to put it in English, but it often kind of fails in comparison to reading subtitles and listening to the original voice acting.
じゃあ
But
ピッキングとか
I totally also understand that a lot of people would not want to have to read all this content and would prefer to just hear it in their native language. Unfortunately, this game doesn't really satisfy that urge because it's not fully voice acted. You would have to have had them voice every single line in the entire game, not just in the class trials. Alright, let's keep on. There's no way Sakura would let someone in because, let's see. I don't know which one is the right. Is it supposed to be evidence of a struggle? And see, I just took damage, so that kind of goes to show that unless I was really, really paying attention, suppose it was switching rooms.
これだ。だって前園さんは怯えてい
So potentially getting an entire easy run, even with all of the possible,
ある場所に置いてあったメモ帳の
with all the possible cheats that you can unlock,
ナイフ
is still pretty difficult.
このメモ
Of course, off screen I could play this a second time and probably manage not to take damage a second time.
前園さんと苗木君は
They switched rooms.
ですがそのメモの呼び出し先には 私の部屋とありますわよ
Which am I supposed to do? Dorm Nor plates.
そのメモで呼び出されたらその人は前園さんの部屋に行っちゃうんだ苗木くんがいた前園さんの部屋にです、つまり呼び出された人物がいたとしても
See, and then that long text, I think that's the one I should have
事件と
hit.
は関係ないはずですわ
なるほど、確かにそうかもしれんな。
Sakura still sounds weird, but nowhere as.
前園さんとなですがその私の部屋
And sped up, they sound different.
前園さんの部屋に
僕の部屋と
Also, could probably make a decent argument that all the minigame mechanics that happen in this first class trial could have easily been tutorialized and introduced one by one in just general people arguments previously in the chapter. And then if you skip to the class trial, yeah, you won't have to go through the tutorial if you don't want to.
彼女は呼びネームでも苗木
It's not like the tutorials that pop up
答えは
are that important or informative anyways.
あの部屋
Still would have to skip a ton of content here. Let's see, because it has gold, Sayaka's wrist. You just have to prove so much in this first case compared to pretty much all the other cases, which are more straightforward. Okay, now we gotta figure out which one we're actually gonna use. When the fighting broke out, it's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
前園さやか殿は骨折してしまったの慌てて応戦をしようとしたあいつは隠し持ってた包丁を取り出したもののそれすらも犯人に奪われちゃって
Yeah, so the sword-based sneak attack I think has to be done with the sheath. If the person with the sword really did attack first, then there's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged. Should be the sheath. So that should be right. Then just skip all of this. Broken wrist. Just took another damage because I chose the wrong thing. So, yeah. Water was off, I remember that part. But yeah, in an effort to let's see. The killer. Nope, it must have been Sayaka. So yeah, once again, three different points where I've dropped the ball, because of course I don't really remember the answers. You could have a walkthrough, certainly. I could pull it up and then just pause the game and like look up the answer and then unpause it. Okay. Dying message. The dying message, I guess, is probably what I'm supposed to shoot.
そんな時間があるのですか？破滅よ。このままみんな破滅するのよ。
So there's still one clue left. I'm sure of it. Sarko left on the wall leaning against her. So I suppose that's the first prompt. Alright, then we'll rush here. We have like 17 minutes left in time. Her left index finger, I believe, was the prompt there. This text just keeps on going though. And the main game is like even worse than the school mode game. I kind of forgot just how incredibly text heavy the main game story is. Even trying to skip, it's still fairly slow when it decides to load into another thing. This would be the shattered crystal ball. Nope, messed up again. It was the sleeve. They really like to screw you over by having two things that are very similar. When you take damage with all the things I've unlocked, all the skills I've unlocked, it guarantees you a full heart back, and you take slightly less than a full heart of damage, which is nice. But also, you would not really unlock any of those abilities on the first playthrough. Let's see how he disposed of it. Which, this really goes back to pointing out that this game would have been way better designed if it had been the school mode first, then the main story, if you wish to. I assume that's the right one. I risked it there. Throw it. Rush. There's still a ton of text after you make your accusation. It's the ultimate baseball star. Now we have to do the closing argument, which is the hardest part about this. We should probably look at the prompts. Alright. Let's see. Is that right? Did they come at her with a sword? the whole roller element. We have like 34 minutes. So we can make a mistake here too. So he started the incinerator, then he threw the evidence, which probably would have been a smart move. It's every piece of evidence, so I think that's right. Of course, this is just going to be Makoto in Japanese explaining the whole thing, and it's going to be fairly slow at that point. In a funny way, Leon and Sayaka are kind of cartoonishly eager to kill people, particularly since it didn't seem like they had even been trapped in the school for very long, like less than a week, with only the DVD motivations, which we never really saw what like Leon's motivation was. Yeah, honestly, if we were going to do a killing game like this, it would have probably made more sense instead of having Sakura be a spy. It would have made more sense to just have several crazy people, straight up killers in the first place, be in the game. And I guess maybe Toko was supposed to be included because of that, but I'm not sure if that's really the case. That's an interesting question as far as, was Toko asked to join the school by the headmaster because the headmaster knew of her split personality and being just like Jill, or did he not know anything about that and it just turned out to be a coincidence? Because it really wasn't, I guess, so much the mastermind's plan whose students would be in the school as much as it was the headmaster's plan, although maybe the mastermind manipulated the headmaster into who he picked to stay at the school. And we still never really got an answer as to like what happened in that classroom, as if that was the tragedy or if that might just be a location where Toko went crazy and killed a bunch of people, or somebody else went crazy and killed a bunch of people. It's kind of hard to believe. If anything, I bet that classroom was left there in case they ever wanted to have a prequel where they could say Mukura Ikasabi was running around killing people, or Junko, I guess, would have been running around killing people. It couldn't have been Mukura. Was dead the whole time. Let's go ahead and skip here because this is still going way too long. I guess the idea is if he had missed the throw, he would have not thrown the evidence in the incinerator. It's just way too many visual effects in this game still. So now we have the bullet time battle. Am I actually going to be able to do this? Yeah, even in the first one, you still have the bullet time battle. And let's see. Let's see. I don't think I even have a I don't think I have a way to speed things up. Like, hitting the right bump doesn't seem to be doing anything. But I do seem to have enough cheats to not take any damage there. So theoretically, using a walkthrough, I could go through all of the trial and not take any damage whatsoever. And this art style didn't get reused. I kind of forgot it existed. 100, 200, 290, 390, 587, 890, 967 gives you an A, and that gives you 71 Monokuma tokens, which is actually not enough, really, to get to 999. I'd have to potentially do the entire case like several times. I just don't think that's really worth it. Now, I would have to do some research to see if there's real branching paths in the story to the point where Leon actually would be found as not the killer. That seems kind of insane. Like, could it have been a case of, say, Hifumi instead of Leon? I mean, I just have such a confirmation bias in my head at this point. If there actually was a way to prove that it was Hifumi that killed Sayaka, then what would be the point of the broken crystal ball? Well, I don't know. You know, every single piece of evidence seems to point to Leon. See, if you're just skipping like this, all you get is the sound effects instead of the voice lines. And in the Japanese, I don't know if this audio is going to sound any different. Yep. So I guess every single door behind each character could have shot out a chain and dragged them to a different room. And see, this video is probably like a huge payoff concept that should have happened like way earlier in the game. I mean, yes, this is supposed to be a big reward, but I think just the entire first chapter could have potentially been dumbed down a little bit earlier. Then you would have had to have more characters, I suppose, so that's a problem. So you do start getting into this catch-22 scenario where you would introduce more characters just to kill off more characters. It does sound kind of like the audio might be slightly different in Japanese. Less cartoony, but it would be hard to tell. Really. So let's keep on skipping. Keep on skipping. I don't think I unlocked any achievement there. I'm still waiting for it to prompt me to
ね
it definitely doesn't feel like the story is changing in any way playing it a second time. Yeah, Junko, Sayaka, the fake Junko, Sayaka, and Leon all died by the end of the first chapter. And then you've got another despair bat. Save. And I suppose it doesn't really hurt. You kind of obviously don't need as many save files as I used. Okay. And see, if I was to go into the extras mode right now and start to try and purchase things, I don't think that it would, I think it would just automatically save as soon as I start purchasing things, so that would be bad. There's no slot machine. There has to be no slot machine in the main game. That would just be insane. Then continuing. Would just be where you last saved, regardless. And then I was thinking chapter select 5. English, go. Start from the class trial. Gentle. I assume there's an achievement for beating it on mean. If that was the case, that would really suck. Okay. And as far as skills, we do have, let's see, downshift instead of upshift.
Let's begin with a basic.
Alright, skip all this.
I got it. I'm talking about.
Let's see, I'm hitting a microphone. So what I think I'm gonna have to do, since we're 2 hours and 20 minutes on this, is I'm gonna just have to I think we're gonna have to
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt off in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably play off screen.
She must have been wearing gloves.
See, that's wrong.
Shoot.
See, then that does damage.
That killed me. Okay, then prove
The
it.
dead body.
They got burnt off.
Then she was wearing.
Well, yeah, because that corpse is.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Shoot.
And it's really easy to mess up here.
They got burnt off.
Then she was wearing.
Well, yeah, because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
So I was supposed to be using fake nails, not the gloves.
Okay, then prove
The
it.
dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt off in the explosion.
Then she was wearing
You can see that
gloves before the explosion.
by chapter 5, they still are moving very fast, even with the extra skills and all. And that passive Celeste ability to get more Monokuma tokens really isn't working as well as I think.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then
Okay, well, then is there even a way out of this?
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma. Well, if we can't identify the
No, it's wrong.
Yeah.
There was. Here's the
Okay. I think what we're gonna have to do
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps.
is either I'm gonna have to play through all this at this point, and then do the rest of the stuff.
Now I understand.
Do the rest of the stuff off screen and just wrap up this series.
The
Or
representation
I would do the
Fenrir
rest of the
is
stuff off screen, then come back and make an episode that may be just fairly short. Because otherwise, like, we're gonna be in a weird position. Like, I can save this, I can go back to the main menu, and then I basically have to continue school mode from where it was and go through all that work once again, and then I'll start recording because it crashed right when I'm talking to Junko again and about to get her underwear, and then we'll jump back into the main game, and also I'll look at a walkthrough to make sure there aren't any other split paths worth going down. Yeah, with any luck, this will be the next recording will be the last recording. But this once again just highlights between the achievements and between the ridiculous requirements to accomplish so much, or accomplish so little by doing so much. Honestly, this game is really dragging out. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.